loneliness. Currently, more than 70% of the adult population in America feels lonely or isolated. And along with that, we are facing more mental health issues than we have ever seen in the entire history of the United States. Alright, now clearly we have to do something about this. And obviously, the use of social media and everything has definitely not made us the most connected generation we've ever had, because clearly the numbers do not lie. We are struggling. One of the first things we need to do if we want to actually get out of this crisis is we need to actually start focusing on the people themselves. We need to actually start building better communities and getting everybody more involved so we do not have to deal with the issue of loneliness anymore. But the issue is how. How can we get an entire generation more involved within their communities? And I think the starting point of all of this is we need to actually have more infrastructure and everything for people to actually go out and be a part of the community. One of the first things here is we actually know how to make a good city to where people are involved in the community. And one of the first and easiest factors towards this is the whole idea of 15-minute cities. In this one article written by Celeste Galicia, I butchered the name probably, the main idea here is that a 15-minute city is somewhere where you can walk to everything you need within 15 minutes. An environment like that not only induces you to walk and touch grass, you can actually go out and meet people on your way to getting all of your groceries or any part of your day-to-day life. This is so incredibly beneficial because it actually allows people to get out into the world instead of only focusing on the life they have at work, at home, or at school. It actually allows people to start focusing outside of that. And that itself is an entire other important idea. And that's the idea of third spaces. If you don't already know, a third space is somewhere that is outside of work, home, school, anything. That's the third space. You have work, home, those are the two, or school if you swap in school instead of work. It's a third space where you are able to go, meet new people, or bring your existing friends to go talk and just relax with other people, decompress, and actually do the human thing and socialize. Now, how do we do this? How can we get people more involved? What do we need in cities to make them better? Starting plain and simply here, all we need are just public parks for one. Any place that has a public park, immediately the community starts to thrive. In one of the studies, it was shown that simply just having a green space in the area statistically improved the mental health of the people in the area. Having a place to go to is so simple and so beneficial. In a moment here, I'm going to start showing you guys videos of interviews where I interview people from Boulder and Fort Collins to try and get their opinions on what their city does well and the aspects in their cities that helps them meet new people. Now, before we go into this here, I think I need to say that all cities are different. Not every city is going to have all of the things, especially in a college town. Both of these being college towns. That is one of the things that make college towns perfect to live in for college students who don't have their life figured out, is the ability to form communities is much easier because of the amount of activities they have in the area to get involved in. You aren't just stuck in one place. You aren't stuck in the middle of nowhere. You're stuck in one place in the middle of nowhere with at least 30,000 other people. And that is a really, really good thing to have. Not all cities have that. So before we go to the videos, I just needed to address that. But for the cities that don't have a college in the area or a whole lot of activities, we need to actually start implementing some. And it's easy to point the blame to just all of the people in charge of the city. It's City Hall. They don't have, they're not putting any of the work in. They're not making anything. Yes, it's true. A lot of cities do not put any work or care for the people who live in them, and it's mostly just for the sake of bureaucracy and having a local government. However, we cannot solely be dependent on the government to be providing us with the ability to talk to people. This is something that we as a people we need to take charge of. We need to, for one, encourage our cities to do better if they're not already doing so. We need to encourage more parks. We need to encourage a local amphitheater. We need to encourage anything that will be in everybody's best interest. And that is one of the most important things here is the fact that not one person is in charge of this. Anybody can take charge and improve their local city. Like anybody can start a local business or even something smaller. Anybody can go out to a park and start asking people to join them on an interview, you know? And I think that's one of the things that we need to start looking at, and placing the blame isn't actually the solution to fixing this problem. We need to start taking accountability for improving not only our lives, but the lives of everybody around us. We have so much opportunity to improve everything, and throwing it all away to just go sit and rot away on our phones is definitely not the move here. Alrighty here, so now we're gonna go over and we're gonna see some interviews I've done with locals in Boulder, and we'll check back up after we've blown through them all.
Hi, what's your name? I'm Dylan.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Okay, so what would you say is a really good place in Boulder for people to like find someone new to talk to?
I'd say there's a lot of clubs and stuff going on at campus, and they usually have booths at the UMC, which is the University Memorial Center, and so you can go there and find clubs to get involved with, and it's really cool.
Cool. Any like places in Boulder specifically that like you think are just like you'd go with like some friends or to like even meet other people who are also just there with friends, just communal areas, honestly.
Yeah, if you go to the Hill, there's like a ton of restaurants and stuff up there, and like Pearl Street is classic for shopping or restaurants, so
Do
it's
you
good places
think
to hang out.
like having Pearl Street and everything, because being from Fort Collins, our main street is kind of lacking.
Yeah.
Um, do you think having the Pearl Street is just like a really good way for like people to come together, even just like get you out of the house?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I have some friends that are like, I feel like it's really important to get off campus every once in a while and just feel like you're back in the regular world. And like going to Pearl definitely helps with that. And I go there with a lot of my friends to dinner and stuff, which is really nice.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye. All right. Okay. All right. My name's Dylan. What's your name?
Tanmay?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What was that again?
Tanmay?
Tenmai. All right. Now, first question here is why did you pick Boulder specifically?
So I'm a graduate student here at the physics department
Mm.
and I work in atomic physics. Boulder has one of the best atomic physics programs in the country. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of good research here.
Now, do you think that Boulder does a good job of like building communities and actually getting people involved?
Um, I think there's a lot of stuff to do around Boulder, and there's a lot of people with common interests that I meet around here. So I don't think I've felt uh, that, oh, there's some things I want to do, but I don't have people to find them. Um, but sometimes I also like coalesce around things other people do. For example, I used to go to do salsa for a while at the Avalon here, and people were just so friendly. And they were
Yeah,
all really nice.
yeah. You know, I'm not technically a Boulder student. I'm from Fort Collins, just doing this for a school project. And I do have to say there's a pretty big difference between here and Fort Collins. There's just a whole lot. I mean, this is more of a city, and Fort Collins is more of just like a suburb kind of area. And I do have to admit, there's definitely a whole lot more. I mean, with like Pearl Street and just even the city in general, there's a whole lot. And I'm just wondering, like, do you ever feel like, well, do you feel like there's enough to do to actually get people out of the house, even if they're not even like the most social of people? I feel like there's, in my opinion, just viewing it here, I think there's definitely a lot more to bring someone out of the house. But what do you think?
Uh, yes, I think there's so much stuff to do outside. There's the Rocky Mountain National Park, or if you just want to take a hike on Sunday morning, there's so many trailheads here that you can start a hike off of. I think I didn't consider this when I was moving in here, but after I got here, like the outdoor like landscape in Boulder is just superb.
The Flatirons are really nice.
Yeah, plants are really good. The views, the people. There's also a little bit of peer pressure to do. Like you see so many people. You see so many people running or like training for the Olympics, and just you want to come outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I don't know if I can shake your hand you're holding, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Perfect. Hi, I'm Dylan. What's your name?
I'm Dennis. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, what made you pick Boulder for one?
Location. Both my parents went here. In fact, most people in my family went here, which is kind of crazy. And then it was just I also got in. Great school, cool location.
Yeah, yeah. Now, would you say there's like a lot to do here to like get people out of the house?
I definitely think so. I think you do have to kind of look for it, but there's a lot of good resources and avenues to go find it.
And what kind of resources and avenues are there?
I really like the group wide, the year wide Snapchat share like filter, not filter, story. If you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
do.
That's really nice. It kind of keeps you in the loop of what's going on. Also, like posters and flyers around are usually pretty helpful. And then just talking to people, they're usually down to invite you to stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what are like the best places in Boulder to go to? Say, hypothetically, you're a transfer student or you just met a transfer student and they're trying to find out where to go to meet new people. Where would you suggest?
Well, firstly, if you want something funny, I actually am a transfer student.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect.
For me, I liked going. I'm a pretty antisocial, not antisocial. I'm a pretty shy person when it comes to a lot of stuff. So I go places where I'm really comfortable. I met a lot of people in the gym. I went to like rock climbing. That's also been really good. And also just like kind of going out and talking to strangers. You'd be surprised how many people are just like down to just talk. You know.
Yeah.
Although for the people watching, remember to take a hint. But
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Now, do you think, I don't know where you come from, but like, do you think Boulder does it better than other cities?
Definitely. The school I transferred from was fucking tiny, Humboldt for those who know. And it was a very different vibe. It was really hard to get to a lot of stuff because it was just a really small school. Because of the size, there's always something going on. You just kind of gotta like look for it,
You don't gotta throw shade here, but what school?
Humboldt.
Humble?
The fact that you have Humboldt, like HUM.
Oh, humble. I thought you said like humble. Okay,
Oh,
okay,
no,
okay.
Humboldt. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like exactly. It's fucking. For those who live in California, it's like 2 miles. It's 2 hours west of Redding, which is like an hour south of Oregon. So like super NorCal. Yeah, tiny school. I think like 12,000 kids go there or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for stopping in the freezing rain to talk.
Of course.
Thanks.
Yeah, I hope that was helpful.
It really was. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
What's your name?
I'm Marco.
All right. So, for one, why'd you pick Boulder?
I really like the mountains, and I'm from Texas, which is really flat, so there isn't really much hiking up there down there.
Yeah. And would you say that Boulder does a really good job of like getting people involved in the community?
Yeah, I really like going to the football games and the basketball games. Football games are really fun.
Yeah.
Especially the night ones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, not personally, hypothetically, if there is like a transfer student, where would you tell them to go to try and meet new people?
The hill on weekends definitely. Uh, you could just go to. There's like different events on campus. If they're into dorms, there's like different dorm events. That's better fun.
Now, do you think Boulder does it better than any other city?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think so. I
Let's
mean,
go Buffs.
I can't legally say that as a Rams. But thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna pray that camera setup works here.
Is it rolling?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Now, we got my cameraman, Nick here.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you as my cameraman. Now, Nick, why did you pick Boulder?
I picked Boulder for the in-state tuition, and it's a highly ranked campus for the natural beauty, all this nice trees, the Flatirons. I always love hiking up them. They always provide a good opportunity to go out with a couple friends, have a good time, and get some sun. Not apparently this day.
Not today.
Yeah, not today.
But you've heard what I've been interviewing everybody. Now, what are some places that you think would be good to go out and meet new people in Boulder?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is the Hill. All sorts of bars, businesses, and people just kind of hanging out, having a good time. You can always find people all at every time of the day, hanging out. The gym is a great point. We have a great rec center. I always like playing basketball, so it's a great time to meet new people there. People are very friendly here. They'll invite you a bunch of stuff, so that's a great way to meet people too.
Now, Nick, being my friend here, I've had you up at Fort Collins a few times. What city do you think does it better in terms of like actually being able to provide people to go meet new people?
Let's go Buffs. Boulder's got to take that cake. I feel like there's a lot of community outreach, but I also haven't experienced much with Fort Collins. But I love the landscape here, and there's a bunch of opportunities. We've got a nice theater area there for people to hang out, and you'll just catch people on the field playing spike ball and a bunch of activity. Volleyball courts down there, we hit them up the other day. So there's always things going down here.
Yeah, I mean, as can be seen from everywhere we have interviewed, there's quite a bit going on down here. Maybe not today because it's freezing, but variety of places and people to talk to. Everybody's been really friendly, and I think main takeaway here is no matter where you are, there's always someone to talk to. Thanks for being my cameraman, Nick.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Of course. Bam.
Perfect. Only one casualty, now storm.
Alright, here we're back. Boulder, everybody there was really, really nice, and I'm so glad everybody was. It was a freezing day, as was the next interview in Fort Collins. It's been freezing this week, and I really appreciate all the I give up saying that word. However, I appreciate it. I really appreciate how nice everybody was. But we're gonna move on to Fort Collins now, and we'll see if there's any differences.
Alright. Well, my name is Dylan. What are you guys' names?
Karen, Beth.
Karen and Beth. So, Karen, I know you live here. Do you think Fort Collins does a good job of like community outreach and getting people up and moving out of the house?
I absolutely do. I think that the music tonight is a good example. I think the surrounding communities outside of Fort Collins have followed suit to what Fort Collins does. The food truck rallies bring a lot of people out at City Park.
Yeah.
I think they do a great job.
And as a visitor, do you think Fort Collins is like, from what you've seen so far, like, would it get you out of the house on a day-to-day basis type of thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. I mean, in comparison to other cities, do you think there's aspects that other cities could definitely include more to make their communities better?
I think there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Fort Collins also does a great job with the trail system. And so I think a lot of other cities could better incorporate that into their communities.
Well, cool. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Good luck with your project.
Thank you. My name's Dylan. What's your guys' names?
Ronan.
Max.
Alright, so for one, why did you guys decide to come to Fort Collins?
Well, I chose it because I wanted to go to an American med school, and doing an American bachelor program would be the easiest way. And I like being outdoors in the
Yeah.
mountains and stuff like that.
I'm a Colorado native, so obviously outdoors is a big thing.
Yeah.
And then good med program, at least for pre-med, and then I live near here, so it's nice to be able to stop by.
Sick. Now, would you guys say that Fort Collins does a good job with like activities and shit to like get people out of the house and talking to new people?
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah. I think there's a lot of offered activities, especially in closer communities. Like I'm in honors, for instance, so we have a lot of honors activities that we do, which is helpful to kind of connect and network.
Yeah. And you know, if you were to like find someone on the street right now, I'm not an example, but like transfer student that just moved here, where would you recommend them to go to try and like talk to people or get involved with the community?
Well, I'm an ASCSU, and I thought that was really helpful as an international student.
Yeah.
I just went to a bunch of clubs and stuff and met people like that. Or because it's like the summer's coming up, even though it doesn't look like it. I just went to play volleyball, basketball. That's how I made a bunch of friends, and everyone's super nice.
Yeah.
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 Or the
Sick.
gym too, anywhere.
I echo that. Yeah.
Do you think Fort Collins is a better job than other cities, or do you think other cities do a better job than Fort Collins in some factors?
I think Fort Collins is, in my opinion, one of the best because of the fact that everyone's so outdoorsy and likes to be
Yeah.
outside, and
Yeah.
you could just talk to people, and they're actually kind of nice.
I mean, this is a pretty good example right here.
Yeah, I think every town has its own deal, and I think Fort Collins, a lot of it is just the networking and outdoor piece of it, which is nice to have, especially when you're on college campus, just to be able to network that much, especially with like outdoor club or any other clubs that are offered.
Yeah. Is there any like places around town you guys like to go to just with your friends or like that kind of vibe?
I'm not gonna lie, we just study all the time because of pre-med, so we
Yeah,
don't see
that's fair.
I
I'm
did go to-
engineering, so I know what you mean.
I did go to Austin's Grill yesterday, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good food.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
guys.
no
Really
problem.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, my name's Dylan. What are you guys' names?
Luke, Lincoln.
All right. So I heard you guys aren't from here. What would you guys? Do you guys think that Fort Collins is doing a good job of getting like the community involved?
Definitely. I think there's a ton of fun events to come down for stuff that will help.
Yeah. Any reason you guys are here this weekend?
No, kind of just passing through. We were
Passing through. You heard about the music festival thing that's kind of going on?
No, we did.
Apparently, a lot of the restaurants. I mean, they're also doing like actually at the Aggie Theater and everything. They're doing it's like all local musician type thing, but a lot of restaurants are having people. So that's something for you guys. But compared to any cities in Wyoming, what do you think like is an aspect that some cities lack in terms of like helping make better communities?
Just interaction at all. We don't have like any interaction in Cheyenne. Yeah, just having more events. Like,
Yeah.
things to do. We have CFD, and that's about it.
All right, cool, guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Alrighty, now we're officially back from all of the interviews, and I must say, I think one of the biggest takeaways here is that sometimes we just need to make do with what we have. There isn't always going to be the most popping city that you're living in at the moment. You're not always going to be living in a place where everybody's always doing something. But I think the most important thing is that we find places on our own where we do feel welcome and appreciated. And sometimes that might be hard, and I do think we still need to be spending more time to actually address this problem and have more places for people to meet each other than just a bar. I think that's one of the biggest things in my opinion. I think we need to be able to actually have options for things for people to do. And I think if we all come together and all want this change to be implemented across every city and more effort to be put into this is also something that we have to put in more effort ourselves to actually improve upon, because we can't always expect someone to do it for us. And I think from Fort Collins and Boulder, one of the things that everybody said was clubs being the most important thing in meeting new people. It's one of the things that allows people to actually find people of similar interest, and is one of the things that not all cities have, and something that I think we should have for everybody. I don't think only schools should be the only place where people give a shit about your interests. We need to actually find things for us to do. We need to exist and enjoy doing what we love with people that we love too. And I think if we find a way for all cities to have some clubs, I think this is something that's so very easily managed. This is something that any rec center can have. Everybody needs an outlet, and I think that's the one thing we're all missing. We need to actually give people the outlets they need. And if the government can't help us on this, I think this is something that we can take control of ourselves, and at the end of the day, talk to someone new. That's the biggest takeaway I've had from all of this. Throughout the interviewing and everything, when I was performing all of my research, I was honestly looking to blame a lot more of the cities and blaming the people in charge of why this crisis might be happening. However, I do think we need to take more charge. Going out, talking to someone new is the most intimidating thing someone can do sometimes. However, getting out, getting involved, even going around to go ask some silly questions for a school project, it helps. It helps anyone feel involved in their community, and I just hope everybody can bring that into their own lives. Thank you for all of your time. Have a beautiful day.